Good morning. Did you miss me yet? I think I checked out at 1 a.m. and it's now 9:30. So, excuse me, I have children and they're carrier monkeys and I cannot get rid of this in my head. So the conversation, and I still have my Thanksgiving makeup on, so excuse me, this is what you get. The conversation about critical thinking is one that we as adults have the brain capacity to critically think about. Okay. So the conversation about, finally I saw somebody post something today. Someone had posted, what is one lesson that you would like to teach children? And somebody had commented, critical thinking, because then they can do anything. Well, unfortunately, like everything has been hijacked to the hilt. Every term you have to question it. Critical thinking is wonderful, yes, when it's not taught first, when it's taught last. So I was going to do this live just on my Facebook page, but I thought, what the hell? My daughter's still asleep. I only have one child today, and this way everything doesn't get mirrored. Okay, so what we have here is, so when we talk about critical thinking, let me see if we can get you just, sorry it's not on an actual slide, but like I said, I had not originally planned to go on here. So, okay, what we have is historically, I'm backwards. Okay. So this is historically what would have been taught. So we talk about top down. Top down is what's going on now, which would be this way. Critical thinking to facts. So historically we have been taught, okay, you've got facts first. That would be your explicit knowledge, your phonics, your arithmetic, which goes on to application to common words, learning application, writing common words. This is just using, examples. And then recognition procedure. And then you go on to critical thinking with your imagination, your theory, your problem solving, theories, all of that imagination, creativity with the knowledge you've already built on facts. But now what we have, and without flipping the triangle, is what we're teaching is first, we are teaching over here, confidence and fluency. So this would be top down. So imagine it like this, but I've just put the words down here because I didn't feel like drawing a diagram. Confidence and fluency is taught first. Recognition of uncommon words. Okay. And then you've got matching sounds to language, which would be phonics. Okay. And anywhere here, you've got trial and error. And then you identify, see right there, identify name letters at the end. So that would be, okay. But now we've got our critical thinking being taught to our children, which would be your confidence and fluency, recognition of uncommon words, top down. Okay. Theory, problem solving first, facts at the bottom. So how that applies to reading is they're being taught comprehension, world knowledge, comprehension, critical thinking, problem solving first. And then sentences, then word recognition, and then letter recognition. Whole, so we talk whole to parts, not parts to whole. Okay. So why can't Johnny read? Why can't Johnny still read? Here, whole to parts. Phonics. I have a 5-year-old walking around the house, loving learning to read because she's being taught phonics, not in public schools. And so she's walking around the house going, fun, no, fun. That, boom. So my next question would be this quote: how to learn, not what to learn. People are like, praise Jesus, how to learn, not what to learn. I was one of those people a year ago because I'm thinking constantly critical race theory, critical race theory, critical race theory, critical race theory, equity. critical race theory, equity. I don't want them teaching my children what to learn because that's in our brains. So this quote here, I see it all the time. Teach our children how to learn, not what to learn. You have to then ask people, what exactly does that mean to you? Does it mean what it meant to us, say 10 years ago? 5 years ago? Because today, this has been hijacked. How to learn, not what to learn, okay? Let's go back to the what to learn is going to be the facts. The how to learn is going to be the critical thinking, okay? They're not teaching what to learn, which is the facts, the foundation of learning. They're teaching, so when we say the phrase, yeah, let's stop praising how to learn. Let's teach our kids how to learn, not what to learn. What does that mean to you? Ask people. Ask your people. What does that mean to you? Because it's not just a phrase anymore that we can say, amen, praise Jesus. You have to say, what does that mean to you? Can you explain that to me? What is the how? What is the what? Okay. A really great example of this would be, and of course I probably just backed out of it. Of course I did. The Virginia Literacy Act. Love it. Hold on 1 second. That's just the one thing I backed out of. Let's see. That would be Donna Can't Coiner. Because it should literally be called the Virginia Illiteracy Act. And so it's things like the science of reading, science of learning. We should all start questioning what in the actual are you talking about? Because of course I found this like 2 seconds ago and I can't find it. So annoying. Why do they need to change bills? Like, I think every bill should have its own and never changing number. Just my opinion. Because every year bills changing their number is so annoying. I think a bill should just have its existing same number all the time. Okay, here we go. Nope. Stay with me. Stay with me. Okay, I'm gonna do one thing. Okay, so first I want to look at the problem with the Virginia Literacy Act. Is that we need to understand, and then I'm really going to jump off because I'm not doing this all day again today. I say that all the time. We need to look at things like this. Unfortunately, when you have something that is voted unanimously, I believe. Yes, unanimously. When it comes to the education of our children, when we have a majority, if not all, everybody in the Virginia Senate and delegates that have no idea what's going on with education. Something called the Virginia Literacy Act should greatly be questioned. Greatly, to use it mildly. Okay. But then you have a bipartisan sponsored bill. Okay. Primary, Louise Lucas. Then you got Kerry Coyner, who is not a Republican. Let's be clear about that. Who's with besties with McClellan. And then you got Vogel. Don't go there. Okay. And then you got Dunnicant. Okay. So this list right here, I would question greatly when you see a bill having to do with a child in Virginia that is bipartisan sponsored. Okay. With this upcoming session, let's be very clear about this. When you see bipartisan sponsorship, question it. Things like the Children's Cabinet. If you haven't looked that up, Guzman, look it up. Frightening. Get on your delegates, get on your senators. But when you have a Louise Lucas, far left, far, sponsoring something called the Literacy Act, backed up by Chesterfield's #1 nemesis, Kerry Coyner, who developed the Equity Committee with James Lane and Javid Siddiqui in 2017, and then goes on to run on an equity platform in the Republican Party, and is not even a member of the Chesterfield GOP. She's a member of the Richmond GOP. And then you got Jennifer McClellan, who's been wrecking shop and destroying education for the last, 12, 10 years. And then you got Dunnicant. I won't even get into her. Somebody please move over to that area of town and get rid of her. So right here, problems. And then 100%. Okay. So even people that you like, you need to ask them, why did you vote for this? Because it was called the Literacy Act? Is that why? Is that where we are in this world? Is that if it says literacy and it's bipartisan, that we all vote for it without reading it or educating ourselves on it? Because if that's where we are, God help us. Because none of these people have any clue what they are talking about. Let's be clear. And it's still not coming up. So I'm going to pull up. And that is so annoying. Here's my Facebook. Just so if I just want the oh, you're not gonna do it. Reverse. Lose it. Swear you crazy. And somebody can tag Merle on this one. Let's see. Other sessions 2022. So this would be lis.virginia.gov, and this is how you learn how to navigate. Just while we're doing this together, this is how you navigate. Look at this woman, chief patron, all of these bills, and that was just into the 2022 Literacy Act. Here we go. All right, so here's how you navigate. So here it looks pretty. This is as passed. Okay. As passed is what you're going to see when you pull that up. You need to go to how it was presented and ordered, which would be how it was originally filed. And then you go to highlight. Highlight is everything. So this would have been the code that was previously standing. And highlight would be what they added to it. This is how you read legislation and figure out what in the actual hell they did to it. Everything in red. Same thing with school boards. When you see that a policy has been changed, go back in your board docs, find the date that they changed it, and look for this stuff. This is what they did to it. That's all they added. And that's extremely frightening. I will say this. And then what you have to do is then you have to go back and then you look at the amendments. So Senate, of course, offered amendments. And this is when you start to understand, like, Donovan sexually explicit material, how it went from actually maybe meaning something. Oh, look, of course, kicking it up. How it actually maybe went from meaning something to after the Senate Education Committee got done with it, it means absolutely nothing because they stopped passing bills that mean nothing just because you want to get your bills passed, period. So let's see. So they'll tell you, they'll go through and they'll tell you, and then it'll go through voting history. Look, everybody was like, woohoo, yay, Literacy Act. Our kids are going to read better. No, they're not. 100%. No, they're not. So you got to highlight and let's get on and let's talk. So they added evidence-based literacy instruction means structured instructional practices, including sequential, systemic, explicit, cumulative teaching that is reliable, trustworthy, and valid evidence, consistent, science-based reading research. Okay. Somebody should have said, okay, and then they talk about a foundation of have a demonstrated record of success in adequately increasing students' reading competency, vocabulary, oral language, and comprehension, and building mastery of the foundation of reading skills of phonological and phonemic awareness, alphabet principles, phonics, spelling, reading fluency, and are able to be differentiated in order to meet individual needs of students. Okay. What is science-based reading approach? Okay. Means research that applies rigorous, systemic, objective, observational, and experimental procedures to obtain valid knowledge relevant to reading development, reading instruction, and reading and writing difficulties, and explain how proficient reading and writing develop. Why children, that's the science of reading. Okay. Including the use of evidence-based. Okay. Evidence-based, if you find that in anything, should have alarms going off in it. Nothing in education should be evidence-based. It should be sound fact, like phonics, arithmetic, that kind of thing. Evidence-based instruction practices to promote reading and writing achievement. So, and then here, each school board, local school board should provide a program. So here they go. They've implemented it onto local school boards. So here it was may enter. And it goes into how school boards must adopt this stuff. The board shall produce guidance on the content of student reading plans. The department is the department. It is the Board of Education. Let's be clear about that, because the Board of Education constitutionally cannot promulgate authority to the department. So even though a law may say the department cannot be responsible for what goes to our children. It is the Board of Education. Just like your school board can say, well, the technology department adopted that crazy software, not our fault. Nope, sorry, constitutionally in Virginia, it's your fault. Everybody taking a school board seat, learn your constitution. Because you can't promulgate authority, you're the elected official. You're the elected official, or you're the appointed official, appointed by the elected official. People that you hire, which would be the VDOE, except for Jillian Balow, here's the speaker. She's secretary of the Board of Education and the president of the Department of Education. So Daniel Gecker, again, you'll suck it there. And so you go through and you read these bills. And they talk about what specialists are. And so this is how you read legislation. And this is the problem, is that they have added so much jargon, high quality professional development, preschool, for any individual endorsement in early primary education, preschool. Okay, so that's Head Start. That would be government preschool, because Virginia Department of Education is not offering Head Start. Let's be real clear about this. This is federalized preschool, admittedly. And the VBOE has oversight over it. It is federal. That means those children are subject, if you send your child into Head Start, subject to whatever Joe Biden tells them to do. Masking, still on those kids. Still on. They say the day's coming where they're coming off. Really? We're getting ready to implement vaccination to our kids in Virginia. Thanks, Duncan. But masks are going to come off those kids in Head Start. Really? They promise it's coming soon. Come on now. So let's be real about this. Pre-K initiative in Virginia is oversight. It is federalized Head Start, point blank. Federal preschool. So just real quick, that's really all that I wanted to talk to you guys about is question the term. We need to teach our children how to learn, not what to learn. Because a year ago, I've been like, yeah, I don't want anybody teaching my kid what to learn, because in my brain, I'm thinking crazy teachers teaching crazy things. We need to get past that. How to learn versus what to learn. Okay, they need to know what to learn. Facts. Facts first, critical thinking last. Okay. Instead, we have top-down learning, which is critical thinking first, which would be things like new math. Real quick. New math makes no sense to parents who were taught to carry the one, who were taught long division, all that kind of stuff, because critical thinking has to be taught as early as possible because it's what the workforce needs, guys. Workforce education. So, excuse me. Let's take 17, and I've had this problem with my child. Excuse me. Can't get over this. So 17 plus 8. Okay. We would have done it. 17 plus 8. 8 plus 7. You have a 5. And you carry the 1. And then you're going to get what? 25. 25. Okay. Now what they're doing is 17. You round up to 20. 8. You round up to 10. Then you get 30. Okay. But you have to go back and you have to remember to subtract your 3 from your 17. Then subtract your 2 from your 8. And then you're going to get 25. How we did it? How we did it versus how they do it. This is critical thinking in age young for problem solving. This is why our math scores, we are 50th in the nation, because this is how they're teaching math. You round up to get a total, but then you got to go back and you got to subtract what you rounded up, and then you get the answer. Okay, versus this arithmetic. Why? I was asking this question when I was still an ignorant mother who thought Word Dojo real-time behavior notifications on my cell phone from my first grader was cool. I questioned, what in the hell is this and why? Why is because they need problem solvers for the fourth industrial revolution. They need children who can think critically. So teach them early. And do you know why they will be the dumbest generation ever? Is because they've never learned to love to read. They've never learned to love math. Why? Because who in the world would learn to love algebra if this is how you are taught to add? How in the world would you do logarithms in calculus if this is how you're taught to add first? And then maybe by what? I don't know. When do they even get to arithmetic now? So beyond social emotional learning, beyond equity, diversity, equity, inclusion, which is exclusion, which is not equality, which is racist and hateful to my child. Beyond the sexualization of our children, beyond all of that, reasons why I pulled my child and then my one who's in kindergarten. So I eventually pulled both of them because one was going to be in public schools. is that because my children are bright and brilliant. I will not have anybody dumbing my children down to become part of a cog of a machine. Okay. So if you're wondering why, and then because I was also paying $150 a week to send my child to not a tutor because she didn't need a tutor, but okay, so like penmanship. My daughter's left-handed. Her penmanship is horrific. They don't care. Why don't they care about penmanship, much less cursive? Because they're all going to be on keyboards. Think about that. My daughter's penmanship. So I was paying $150 a month or a week to send her to an outside assistant, like a extra, so that she could learn to write with her left hand and in 6th grade, to learn to read things like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and to dissect chapters and do things like that they're not doing. So I was paying all that for her while she was in public school because I knew that what was stimulating her brain was not enough for her to live up to her potential. And I didn't even know why back then. Okay. So if your child is coming home with this as math, you need to know why they are teaching this to children. They're teaching it to children. It's that whole, well, let's teach our children to critically think. Yeah, at the bottom, after they've had all the facts, all the explicit knowledge, okay, all of that. Let's teach it that, not this way, which is what's being done. Critical thinking, new math, sight words. And then you get down to, start to recognize and all the other stuff. Okay, that's what's going on. Critical thinking, recognize it. When you see this, how to learn, not what to learn, don't applaud it until you ask them what they mean. What does that mean to you? Because how to learn versus what to learn. They have to know what to learn. Facts. I'm done. You want to come say hi? My tiny helper. Oh, one of my reasons for everything. Because who's gone? Sister? His big sister friend. So me and my reason why are going to go find something fun to do on this rainy day. Can you see our eyes? Whose eyes? Creepy. Genetics. We even have the same. It is creepy. So the next time somebody wants to say boop boop, they like to accuse me of my eyes. Because I'm hyper intelligent and I think really fast, that it's because my eyes, I'm on crack or meth or whatever they call me. So next time you think about that, just remember genetics. Sorry about your luck, but that's the way it is. So y'all have a wonderful day. Happy post Thanksgiving. Whoever's shopping, you want to go shopping? She's like, yeah, for toys. Her birthday is right after Christmas, so we have that debacle.
No, after Christmas, 4 more days to
4 days after Christmas. Excuse her. So we have that debacle to deal with because right now I want presents. I want things when we're buying for other people. But let's go shopping on Black Friday. Sounds like a nightmare. Y'all have a wonderful day. And I hope that we now understand critical thinking and to question and how to read legislation just a little bit better. But y'all have a good day. Say bye.
Happy Christmas.
Say happy early Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
Oh, isn't she so sweet? What do you fight for? That's what I fight for. Innocence and educate our children so that their brains, they can be anything they want to be. Right?
Yeah.
Even if you're on Broadway while your sister's running Wall Street or the world and she's trying to take care of her fledgling sister because this one, she's all me. So y'all have a great day and I